Jonathan Drouin. Every time we talk about Jonathan Drouin, we like to be very opinionated. And in some cases, with some people who are on here, it can get a little scary. I'm referencing, obviously, the time I discussed Drouin with Chris Knuckles Nyland, which is one of the top 3 scariest moments of my life.
I don't know. I think people are a little bit too hard on Drouin. It's a little ridiculous. Maybe, yeah. I'll say it. I think people
are hard because they expect a lot.
I won't dispute the fact that there are moments where he will kind of back off and not give 100% of his effort. But I also can't help but feel that he feels very defeated. I mean, I think we might have referenced
defeated. Well, are we going to
of course he
feel bad for himself. Well, gee, it's tough.
It's going to happen where it's going to happen where you're
give
playing
him a trophy
games.
Now.
It's going to happen when
give
you're
him a
playing
participation trophy.
No, it's not a question of giving him a trophy. It's going to happen. No, come on. It's going to happen when you play games and nothing goes right for you.
I get that, but when there's no effort, you know what? Things won't go right.
Do you think Jonathan Drouin has hit his NHL ceiling with the Montreal Canadiens? Or do you think he'll improve? Because it's very clear that he's capable of being a playmaker. He's got all the assists. He's not really a goal scorer here, though. That's very much evident with this Montreal Canadiens team. What do you guys think about Jonathan Drouin?
Jonathan Drouin is who Jonathan Drouin is. He's 26 years old. He's not going to change. He's a playmaker. As you mentioned, he's not really a goal scorer. He drives fans crazy. I think he drives his coaches crazy. Dominic Ducharme has given him every opportunity since he first took over for him to succeed, like giving him lots of minutes of ice time on the power play. The honeymoon ended a couple of games ago when he cut him back to 12 minutes. But, the most points he's ever had in a season, Jonathan Drouin, in the NHL is 53. And I went back and I looked 2 seasons ago, last time we had a full NHL season. There were 93 players in the NHL who had more than 53 points. 93. So that just shows that's Jonathan Drouin. I mean, I don't see him getting more than 53 points in the future. He does lead the Canadiens in assists. He's a playmaker. He doesn't shoot the puck enough. Jonathan Drouin is who Jonathan Drouin is. That's why Steve Yzerman traded him. I don't think, when he wanted to get rid of Jonathan Drouin, I think he went, what team might take Jonathan Drouin? I think I know one. And he gave Marc Bergevin a call, and the rest is history. So Jonathan Drouin is Jonathan Drouin.
Yeah, I don't think at his age and with all the opportunities that he's been given that all of a sudden he's just going to wake up tomorrow and be a whole new player. He's talked about going over videotape with Dominic Ducharme a few years ago going into the season. He's a player that has shown a lot of potential, but just hasn't really developed into that player, and it brings a lot of frustration, as you said, to fans. And I think it goes back to what we've spoken about before, how some of the smaller players like a Brendan Gallagher really had to fight for everything they have, and that's what made them such a good NHL player, is that work ethic that they had to develop over the years to prove everyone wrong. Where a player like Jonathan Drouin, who kind of arrived and everyone, praised him before he even stepped on the ice. At a certain point, that wears out and your work ethic has to take over. And that hasn't really been able to happen with him. And this is the player that he is, and this is the player that the Montreal Canadiens have.
And I really think they're going to have to make a decision, in the offseason. Everybody's been hoping for him to find a way to get a better game out. He's been, obviously concerned about criticism, which to me is, if you don't want to get criticized, do something about it. But to me, the bottom line is, the expectations for you are to perform, to get involved, bring what you can bring each and every night. Have not seen it, and that's very, very frustrating for anybody that's watching him, let alone the guys in the dressing room that are hoping for better things to come from him. But let's see if all of a sudden he can turn a switch on now. And this, like I said before, is a test of character of your group. And if he cannot find a way to become better and bring more to help the team down this stretch, it's a no-brainer as far as finding a way to move him to another location, no matter at what cost.
On a positive note, he did play well in the playoffs last season. So for the Canadiens, you hope he can do that again this year. But I think, Jess, you hit the nail on the head. I think Jonathan Drouin is a guy that games always come easy to him. Since he was a little kid, he was always the best player on the ice, whether he worked 100% or whether he played at 50%. He was probably still the best player on the ice. And I honestly I think Jonathan Drouin, when he goes on the ice, believes he's working and giving everything he has. I think he believes he is. But his level of thinking he's working hard and Brendan Gallagher's level of thinking he's working hard are at totally different levels. They're not even on the same scale. So, as I said, Jonathan Drouin at 26 years old, what you see is what you get. And for the Canadiens, I think that you just hope that he can get a spark lit under him when the playoffs start, like he seemed to last season. And if he can, that's obviously going to help the Canadiens a lot.
And, you can't really blame it, him not getting a chance. He's been given all kinds of scenarios with different guys, different combinations, and, trying to get this guy to play up to his capabilities. And he has not responded in a very positive way. And, this is why he's topping the conversation, and a lot of people are disappointed.
Well, yeah, that just seems to be the story of Jonathan Drouin as long as he's been a member of the Montreal Canadiens. Do you think, you watching at home, that Jonathan Drouin has hit his ceiling with the Montreal Canadiens? Let us know in the comments section below, and visit hockeyinsideout.com to check out our full episode.